Right now someone is vacuuming outside in the hall, so hopefully that doesn't become too distracting on this. So we focused a lot on bending. I'm getting a nice good bend and release. So, try and angle this so the fingers are seen better. Well, we'll do it down here. And the idea is, when you're bending these top three strings, and you're pushing them up, you start with your fingers on the tip like normal. When you push up, see how my fingers go from having my fingernail pointing toward the ceiling, so my fingernail is now pointing out. So that's what you need to do, and you want to follow the same path back down. So don't do this and then come down, because then you're going to grab the strings. Rotate your fingers up, and then rotate them as you come back down. If you ever hear any strings ringing out after you've bent them like this, look at that G string keeps ringing out there, and that the D string ring out there. You can barely hear the A string there, but basically you're not muting properly with the right hand if you hear extra strings ringing out that you don't want. So first thing to do is make sure that your right hand is far enough this way. Make sure it's far enough to your left. If you're still hearing a mute, or not a mute, if you're still hearing a string ring out after moving your hand over, then you need to move your hand further towards the ground because you're missing the string you're trying to mute. Alright, so remember, when you're reading tablature, any kind of notation stuff, you see the arrow go out first, then up, you do not want to pick and bend straight away. You want to pick first and then bend on the next beat. When you get into rhythm notation, the rhythm notation will tell you when the bend is supposed to happen. But for right now, it just, when you see the arrow go out first and then up, you're going to pick and then bend. So don't pick and bend at the same time. You want to pick, wait, and then bend. So with these, you have pick, bend, release. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we also talked about the half and 1 written above the arrow. The half means a half step above. A half step is 1 fret apart. So that first bend, it says to bend up a half step. So when you pick that 19, when you go to bend it, you want it to sound like the 20th fret. And when you go down to the 17, it says a 1 above it. That's for a whole step bend. You want it to sound like the 19, so it sounds like this. Now sometimes you might see full written above a bend arrow. Full means full step, which is the same thing as a whole step. So kind of interchangeable there. So you might see either a 1 written above, a whole, or a full. Usually I'll see a 1 or a full. Sometimes you might see 1 1/2, which means it would be a step and a half above. So if you were to bend the 17 up 7 1/2, it would need to sound like the 20th fret. I don't like doing those too much because you run the risk of busting the strings. But 1 1/2, sometimes you can get away with that. When you start going into 2 whole steps, that's getting a little silly. Anyway, so I'll run through this so you can hear how it's supposed to sound. So keep playing each bar as many times as you need to in order to get the sound you're looking for. So remember, you have the 1, 2, 3. If you hear any strings ringing out that you don't want ringing out, fix your muting. If you don't hear the string come down on the bend release, make sure you have adequate pressure when you're coming back down. And then for this next thing, got to work on training your fingers to be set up for the pull-offs better. So this is the one you're going to work on with the metronome this week. And if you have any questions on how to use that metronome app that I've got, just let me know, and I'll do a quick video on that for you too, if you need me to. So the goal is keep it even. You want a nice 3 count to each beat. So it'll sound something like this. You have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the goal as far as getting it to sound that way. Next week I definitely want to get back into our rhythm stuff, but that's alright. I mean, we definitely got a lot of good stuff talked about this past time. So, the lead, you got, we'll call it guitar 1 and guitar 2. Right, this is in the key of B minor. So we've been in the key of A minor. And what I showed you yesterday, if you want to solo over the song yourself, just take your A minor scale and shift it up to start on B, starting on the 7th fret. Whoops. Same shape. And any of the shapes are going to work at that point. You just got to shift everything up a whole step, which is 2 frets. So here is, I'm just going to do this slow. Here, guitar 1. So that's 17. The idea is to slide up into it. So let's do it one more time. The harmony for it will be this. Too high of a slide. I went to 22 instead of 21. Let's try that again. So what we can do next week is switch off on playing each guitar part. So you can play guitar 1, and I'll play guitar 2. And then you can play guitar 2 and I'll do guitar 1, so you can hear how it sounds together. Alright, let me know if you got any questions, and I will see you again Wednesday.